We have been studying about the understanding dimensions of health in the last class. And in this class, we will be focusing on different health parameters, Indian normal standard devices, etc. And we have to understand what is blood pressure, brain activities and sleep, focus, pulse, body temperature, etc. So, coming to that, you can see that what are the main parameters of health care. The first and the most important one is the blood pressure. Coming to the blood pressure, here you can see that we have studied about the blood pressure. It is the pressure produced by or exerted by a moving blood on the wall of the artery. So when a blood is moving through the blood vessel, that will be forcing or that will be giving some pressure or some force on the wall of the blood vessel or artery or vein. That pressure is known by the name blood pressure. And here we have two variations are there. One is the pressure during the contraction of the heart, which we call by the name systolic blood pressure. And normally its range is between 90 to 120. And there is an opposite situation where it is the pressure of the blood during the relaxation of the heart chamber, and which we call as a diastolic blood pressure. That normally varies between 60 to 80 mm of mercury. So normally we say the normal range of a blood pressure is between 120 bar 80. 120 will be referring to the systolic blood pressure and 80 will be referring to the diastolic blood pressure. Now in this aspect we have two important variations are there. Most of the time in most people the pressure will be between 120 and 80. But as the age of the person is increasing or because of other factors like obesity, heart problems, etc., the pressure can increase. And if there is an increase in blood pressure above 120, we call it by the name high blood pressure or higher blood pressure or hypertension. The different terms are there. So normally the range between 120 to 140 is considered as a warning sign, and above 140 we have to take medicine. So that is how the blood pressure is normally calculated. And similarly the normal blood pressure is below diastolic blood pressure is 80. Some people may have a lower blood pressure, some may have only 80, 70, some may have only 60. But if it is still going below 60, that is not advisable. And in that case also we have to take some kind of medicine. So these are the two situations. One is hypertension characterized by higher blood pressure above 120 mm of mercury. Hypotension will be characterized by 60 mm of mercury. So, and here also you can find some variation, but in Indian standard it is 60 to normally it is calculated as 120 and 80. Then different types of devices are also used. The most commonly used device is known as the sphygmomanometer. Sphygmomanometer you might have all studied. That is the manometer the doctors are using while taking the blood pressure. This is known as the sphygmomanometer. Here you can see that. This type of device is known by the name sphygmomanometer, and they will be putting a band on your arm, and this is a mercury type device, and using this mercury device we will be able to calculate the pressure of the blood. So that is the most common type. Then digital blood pressure monitor, and also nowadays they are very common in my even in households you can find this kind of devices. So this is a very simple type of device. Here also you can see that this is the digital blood pressure monitor. It is very simple, anybody can use it, automatic. Then ambulatory blood pressure monitor, that is another type of device. Ambulatory blood pressure monitor is a different type of device. That this is a slightly modified version of digital blood pressure monitor. The advantage is that it can be carried, and this kind of device is needed by people who have a constant variation in blood pressure. So that can be kept into attached to your body. So it will be continuously giving the reading, and that kind of device is known as the burn for 24 hours to track variation. So that kind of device is known as ambulatory blood pressure devices. Now we have also wearable devices for blood pressure monitoring, like and most of the this many high-end monitors will be able to this. These are some of the smartwatches that will give you an idea of what is your blood pressure. So based on the pressure pulse variation, they will be able to give. Now there are so many products are there. Because Apple, they have certain high-end models are there. So this kind of blood pressure devices will be able to give you an idea of what is your blood pressure. I think Apple has a device like this. So these are the different variations or different type of devices which are available for measuring the blood pressure. Now second aspect is the brain activities and sleep. Now to the second one is the brain activities, and the second is known as the sleep. The second variation is of the brain activities and sleep. Here you can see that we have to first understand what are the different types of brain waves. I think in our semester 5 we have discussed about that. Different types of brain activities are there. I will show you a picture of what are the different type of brain waves so that we will be able to recollect. So this kind of thing you might have seen. So these are the different types of brain waves. Gamma waves are there, beta waves are there, alpha waves are there, and delta waves are there. So these kind of different types of brain waves are there, and they will be most of the time produced during certain type of activity. For example, when you are concentrating very intensively on something, it will be beta waves or gamma waves. When we are sleeping, it will be delta waves. So this is the normal brain waves. So if the frequency is less than 4 Hz, we call it as deep sleep. And during theta waves, it is a light sleep. And if the frequency will be 4 to 8, then when we are normally not stressed or we are in a relaxed mood, the brain will be producing alpha waves. Then beta waves are when we are thinking or something. Then gamma waves are there when you are deeply concentrating or higher level processing or something. Then like programming or other time, when we are very much absorbed in something, our brain will be having gamma waves. Then coming to the sleep also, there are two types of sleep. One is REM sleep and other one is known as a non-REM sleep, about which also we have studied. Normally during a sleep 90 to 120, nearly 1.5 hour to 2 hour will be a REM sleep. During the time we will be having dreams, because dreams are actually helping in a kind of relaxation is there, and most of the time most of our dreams will be associated with some of our desire or some of our frustration that are expressed in the form of dreams. Then another type is that non-REM sleep is the non-REM sleep is occupying nearly 75% of our duration of the sleep. So these are the two basic variations in sleep cycle. Now here we have what are the different types of devices. The most common is the electroencephalogram. You might have seen this electroencephalogram. See here you can see that this kind of devices are known as the electroencephalogram. They will be able to give a reading of the electrical activity of your brain. Here you can see that. So these are several electrodes will be placed on your head, and it will be measuring very weak electricity produced by your brain, and that will be connected to a computer. and using a software it will be able to give the what is known as this idea, what are the different types of verbs produced by the brain. So that is known as electroencephalogram, that will be measuring the electrical activity in the brain. Then another is polysomnography. It is mainly used for sleep study monitoring, EEG, heart rate and breathing. Maybe if a instrument is there, we will try to find out how this it will be appearing. So in the case of polysomnography, multiple factors will be measured. Here you can see that. So polysomnography will be monitoring EEG, electroencephalograph will be there, heart rate will be measured, and also breathing will be also measured. Here you can see that different types of devices will be connected to the person. Here you can see that. So using such devices, here you can see that there is a picture showing it. See, the brain waves will be studied, blood pressure will be studied, and also the heart rate will be studied. So three activities are simultaneously measured. The person is also sleeping. So if you go to bigger hospital, like I think in Aster Medicity, they have a sleep lab. If you have problems with the sleep, they will keep you in that lab and they will be monitoring you some for 12 hours during the sleep. And they will tell you what is the problem with your sleep. What are the factors that are disturbing your sleep. For example, some people may not be able to get sleep. And some people, seeing the bed, they sleep, and only next day they see, oh, it's morning now, we have to go to the college. Some people are like that. But there are many people who are not getting sleep. The problem with the lack of sleep is that if you are not getting sleep, it is like a rest period for your brain. Rest period for your most of the different cells and organs of your body. So if that rest is not there, you won't be able to concentrate next day. So that is the problem of lack of sleep. If there are some physiological factors which are responsible for the lack of sleep, then a study like this polysomnography may be helpful. Then wearable devices are there. They may be Fitbit, Aura Ring. We will check how it will be appearing. There are different Aura sleep ring. I don't know. I have not heard about it. So this kind of devices will be there. See, it's you can just put it into your head, ring or short. So that will be continuously monitoring. See, this kind of devices are there. There will be a lot of sensors will be there, and this kind of sensors will be able to give you an idea of what are the problems with your sleep. And another is Fitbit sleep tracker. These are all modern devices, just like our smart watch, that will give you an idea about how much time you are sleeping. And even in many modern Android devices, there are health measuring apps are there. If you are putting those health measuring apps, it will be continuously monitoring how many steps you are walking, how much time you spend for walking, how much time you are sleeping. So all this they will be giving you an idea. So this is known as the wearable devices. Then mobile apps are there. These mobile apps can also estimate because most of the time if you take the phone, if you are keeping in this way, the mobile will be sensing it. If you are keeping it this way, mobile will be sensing it. If you are keeping it this way, so mobile can dictate whether you are reading, you are just keeping the mobile here, or you are working with the mobile. All these mobile softwares can track. So based on that, there are apps which can give you an idea whether you are sleeping or you are using a mobile. So this kind of devices are there. So they are very helpful in monitoring your sleep. Then another aspect is the focus or attention. Coming to the focus or attention, here you can see that different variations are there. A normal standard, for example, for most people 15 to 20 minutes is the time for which they can focus on something. Maximum 20 minutes. Intensely we can only listen to something for 8 minutes only. But for most of the people, a maximum of 15 to 20 minutes can be spend on focusing or actively attending something. After that, you will be your mind will be moving to something else. So average attention span, that also varies from my around approximate 8 seconds. So that is the, for example, you are looking on something, and for about 8 seconds your eyes will be on that, and after that you will be moving to something else. That is average. Then similarly there is another term called cognitive load tolerance. Cognitive, as I told you, always refer to intellectual, intelligent, brain functioning, etc. So that will be depending on the individual as well as the complexity of the task. For example, you are working on something and you are not able to get a solution for that, then you will be focusing on that. For example, your mobile has some problem, definitely you will spend a lot of time on that, because mobile is your life. Without mobile, your life is lifeless. So everybody knows that. So that if something is happening with mobile, you spend a lot of time, and such things cognitive load tolerance. For some people that may be very less. They only for a short period of time they can tolerate, they have their load tolerance. Then what will happen if you are getting not a solution within 5 to 10 minutes? You will be start fighting with your relatives, your brother, sister, father, mother. Then everyone will be responsible for the malfunction of your mobile. So that is all coming under the cognitive load tolerance. Then we have what are the devices for measuring this problem. So here we have already electroencephalography that can measure whether your brain is in beta waves, gamma waves. Beta and gamma waves are the high intensity brain waves that will be giving. See here you can see that during beta waves and gamma waves your brain is very actively working. See you can the frequency of the waves is also very high. So during this time your brain will be very active, and by measuring the EEG, the doctors will be able to get some idea whether how deeply you are absorbed in something. Then eye tracking devices monitor the gaze and fixation, whether you are focused on something. So that normally is 8 seconds. So that will be varying. Then attention tests, continuous performance tests are used for sustained attention. Some people will be having that problem. For as a student, if you are not able to give sustained attention on something, that may be affecting your studies, that may be affecting your learning. So this may be a problem for many students. So they may not have this focus. So focus is something that is very important. And similarly, Muse wearable devices are the Muse headband. We will check what is it. Provide feedback on brain activity during focus exercise. We will check how this Muse headband will be appearing. So see this kind of device. See here you can see that these are all Muse headbands. You just put that headband in your head. That will give you an idea of whether you are deeply concentrating, how much attentive you are. So see, this is a brain sensing heart band. Just like it can measure our pulse. So different types of automatic devices are there. This kind of devices will help you to understand where what are your problems, how much time you are spending on something. So they are known as wearable measuring devices. They will give you continuous monitoring. Then pulse is there. Pulse, everybody has an idea. What do you mean by pulse? So normally we will be measuring pulse by just touching your hand, the wrist. So a normal rest heart rate will be the 60 to 100 beats per minute. So number of times the heart is beating or heart is contracting is known as a heartbeat. So normally it is 60 to 100 beats per minute, and in some people like athletes that can vary. They have a lower pulse, like in these athletes, sports people, pulse may be 40 to 60 beats per second, and indicates better cardiovascular fitness. That is they have a slower heartbeat. The heart is not working so fast because they may be able to hold more oxygen in their blood. Then that is the reason why maybe if there is more hemoglobin, they will be able to keep more blood oxygen in the blood. Then another situation in the case of pulse is the tachycardia. So normal rate is 60 to 100 beats per second, beats per minute. If it is more than 100 beats per minute, we call it by the name tachy. Tachy means fast. Tachy, heart is working fast, fast heart. So tachycardia means heart is working fast. And another situation is the brady. Brady means slow. So bradycardia means slow heart. So bradycardia means the pulse is below 60 BPM, that is beats per minute. That is a situation in the case of bradycardia. So for a normal person, if you are not a sports person, and if doctor is saying that your pulse is below 60, then it is not good. For a sports person, they may be able to hold more oxygen. The pulse may be naturally low. Now, what are the devices for measuring the pulse? One is known as a pulse oximeter. I will show you how this pulse oximeter will be appearing. So, different types of devices are there. See, this kind of devices become very popular during the time of Corona. So, it is known as a pulse oximeter, and it's a very simple device, and that they will be. So, most of the people will have a range of 90, 98. It will show you how much light can pass through your blood. So that will be giving you an idea of how much hemoglobin will be there, how much amount of hemoglobin is oxygen filled or oxygenated. So that is the purpose of pulse oximeter. Then heart rate monitor are there. Then like Polar H10 for accurate measuring. If there are any. See, here you can see that there are different types of devices are there. That is not. See, this kind of this kind of devices will give you how. See, here you can see that they will be monitoring your heart, and they will give you an idea of that is a continuous monitoring will be there. So that is the advantage of chest strap. Then wearable trackers are there. Already we have seen Fitbit, Garmin, Apple Watch, all will be having this heart rate monitors are there. Then ECG monitor, that will be providing a heart rhythm. The taking is then manual method, measuring the pulse at the wrist or neck by placing the finger for 15 seconds and multiplying by 4. So for 15 seconds you will be measuring the pulse. How many beats are there in 15 seconds, then you multiply by 4. That will give you an idea of the pulse rate. Then finally we have body temperature. So in the case of body temperature, average body temperature is 36.5 to 37 degrees centigrade. And normally in India we tell the fever temperature mainly in Fahrenheit, 97.7 to 98.6. But in some countries it will be in centigrade. So that will give you an idea of what is the normal temperature. So if the body temperature is above 100 or above 38, we call it by the name fever. Then if it is below 35, we call it by the name hypothermia. So these are the these are the different variations in body temperature. Now, what are the factors which will be controlling or which will be affecting your body temperature? The first one is the age. Age of the person can be an important factor. Older adults may have a lower baseline temperature. So, as the age of the people are increasing, their body temperature can also vary. So, in most of the people, especially in older individuals, they have their body temperature may be slightly low than people in your age. Then time of the day, normally it will be lower in the morning, higher in the evening. This is something you have to keep in your mind. Then when you are walking or you doing some activity, then only your body temperature will be increasing. Then slight increase during the time of ovulation. That is also a physiological thing that is affecting your body. So these are the different types of variations which are affecting your body temperature. So one is age, time of the day, activity, and menstrual cycle. Then what are the devices? There are a lot of common devices are there. One is thermometer, digital thermometer are there. They are very accurate and widely because you might have seen this kind of digital thermometer. Digital thermometer are nowadays very common. See, these are this type of normal one. Everybody might have seen. These are the digital thermometer. Then we have another type, infrared thermometer. I will also show you. Sometimes in infrared thermometer. This is known as the infrared thermometer. We just point on your forehead. It gives you immediate reading. What is your temperature? That is known as the infrared thermometer. Then mercury thermometer, older type. Mercury thermometer. Mercury thermometer used to be the common type of thermometer, and because of this, these are the mercury thermometer. They are also common. Then we have wearable like Fitbit, Apple Watch. They will be giving a continuous temperature monitoring. Then specialized tools are the oral thermometers are the rectal thermometers are the auxiliary armpit thermometers are there. So then thermal imaging camera. For example, if you go to the airport, I will show you most of the cameras will have an infrared devising thermal imaging camera. This kind of devices are there. They will give you, for example, if a person is coming and he has a higher body temperature, then immediately the people in the airport they can monitor. So such a type of thermal imaging cameras are nowadays commonly, especially during the time of pandemic or epidemic. Then almost all cameras, including here there is no camera. We are lucky. So all camera have an infrared system, and even during night it will be able to give you a picture of that. So thermal imaging cameras are also useful for monitoring, especially for fast monitoring. So these are the different types of devices. Then significance of monitoring. This abnormal body temperature, any variation, because when we have a fever, our body is not working. So if everything is okay for your body temperature will be normal, around 97.7. But if there is some problem with your body, some variation, some physiological difference are there in your body, that will be indicated by higher fever, higher body temperature. If there is some metabolic disorders are there, inflammation inside your body are there, all these will be indicated by higher body temperature. So continuous monitoring can help manage chronic condition like thyroid dysfunction and fever episode. Some people may have problems with thyroid. Thyroid is a very important organ, important gland in your body. If it is not working properly, if enough amount of thyroxine are not produced, it will be affecting the functioning of almost all the body organs in your body. So this way, there are different types of health parameters. We have only studied body temperature, pulse, focus, brain and blood pressure. In our next class, we have to study about two more activities two more ideas are there. One is ECG, cardiac fitness, stress, hematological parameters and BMI, about which we will study in our next class.